Sticky, bitch. All right.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to MVP.
Let's get into it.
Yo, I am Shiloh, a.k.a. ASAP Rocky ass nigga who jumps over the balcony into his wife's arms. That's my new AKA.
What? Okay.
It feels very Shiloh coded.
Okay.
I would do that.
Okay. Well, names are personal to each of us. What's up, y'all? I'm Chelsea, a.k.a. the stick-up kid.
She's sticking with it.
Ain't never gonna not be.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. Let's go.
Okay. What's up?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Another episode. It's time for Queer Cheers,
Woo, woo.
where we celebrate notable queers doing notable ass shits.
Period.
This week, though, it's actually a lot of people we celebrating this week.
Yeah.
Because we're celebrating a new Gallup poll.
9.3%
of America are claiming their LGBTQ plus status.
Yeah.
IA. Right? They polled 14,000 U.S. Americans by what I thought was actually really interesting is they called them up on the phone and they were like, what's your sexual identity? They called them.
Kind of like the census.
I love it.
Back in the day.
They give them a call. They were like,
Yeah.
ring, ring, ring. 86% of those people said that they were straight.
Okay.
5% said that they were bisexual. 2% said that they were gay. 1% said that they were lesbians. 1% said that they were transgender. And under 1% mentioned some other, part of LGBTQ plus identity, like pansexual, asexual, queer, or something else. And then 5% declined to answer. But I thought it was really cool that younger adults are claiming their identity and orientation a lot younger.
Absolutely. I think that it's, the road has been paved by a lot of what was put down back in the day by a lot of people who put their bodies and, their reputations and all of that at the stake. Yeah. And have allowed people to feel more comfortable in this time in 2025. I even know people in my family, younger generations that are coming out saying that they're not all the way straight or they feel more fluid or they're bisexual and I think it's a beautiful thing to see, especially in the midst of what's happening right now. Yeah. For people to still stand in who they are and be comfortable in stating that.
Yeah, the general shifts are underway. If you're loud and you're proud.
Hey.
Okay?
Okay.
So 9.3, y'all, total Americans. So I assume that it will be more than this even next year.
I think there is more than that. I mean, it's an uptick.
They only polled 14,000 Americans. Right. I mean, so
if you got a broader audience, I'm sure that you would find that it's probably even queer. And I think people are becoming more comfortable in saying that they're bisexual or they're fluid or they're not just all the way straight. Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So shout out to you guys who picked up the phone and answered. That wraps up Queer Cheers. Woo, Queer Cheers. Vibe check.
Vibe check.
What's up, Chels? How you feeling?
Up?
What's going on?
I'm good. It's been a good week. Yeah. LA weather is crazy. I'm loving the sun after all this rain.
It's feeling very spring. The birds are chirping. The sun is out. Shorts and a tank and the sun is out.
Your skin was out.
Skin was
out.
You
had the shea butter going on.
I had the shea. Okay. I'm a Florida baby, so I love the sun.
Nice.
It does something to me, so it's been great weather out here.
Yeah, I'm a sunshine girl too, so it feels good. I always wake up in a good mood when the sun is shining.
Yeah. So. That's what we pay this LA tax for.
That's what we are. We are 100%. They are taxing us heavy for the sunshine. Yeah. Heavy on the sunshine.
And it's also global warming. This sun shining at 80 degrees in February. But
yeah,
we'll take it where we can get it.
We'll take it.
I had a couple days off and I binged Paradise. Have you been watching Paradise?
I am obsessed with Paradise.
Wow.
First of all, I love Sterling K. Brown. I just like him as an actor.
Same.
He gives me. I mean, I loved him in This Is Us. I don't know. Were you on This Is Us?
I was not. I listened to it in the background of my ex. Like, she loved it, and I would hear it. It was just a little too emotional. Like, it was 100%. Very heavy on the emotional beats.
It was always crying.
And it was,
you could not leave an episode without crying.
I feel like that was their outcome.
It was.
To get people to cry.
If they made you cry, they won.
Episode.
Yeah, 100%. But he was in that, and he was so good in that as well. So him being in this and seeing him in a different light, because he gives you, like, he's angry in this one, but it's like he's kind of got like a silent rage almost. And I like his acting in that, because it's,
I mean, he's a fantastic actor.
100%.
This is like a Stanford MFA. Yeah, I think he went to all the big acting schools.
Yeah.
So he's an actor. So I'm not even surprised at seeing how well he's playing this role. But I like the story.
The story is crazy.
The reveal in the pilot.
The reveal is crazy. The story is crazy, because also it could happen.
Can it though?
Yes, a bunch of billionaires, a bunch of multi.
Okay, yeah, we
could get around a table and be like, actually,
let's build.
We're
Let's
leaving
carve
all
out a
these
mountain.
poor people. Actually, we're leaving all these poor people to burn up, and we're going someplace on our own. And they could do that. They actually probably already built it.
No, I'm sure, but this makes me suspend my disbelief, because it's like, okay, you carved out a mountain. Where the fucking oxygen at? Where's the sunlight? Y'all got artificial sunlight.
Yeah.
Like, we're human organisms at the end of the day. How y'all really surviving? And I just saw something the other day that took me out. They was like, who's braiding Presley's hair, and who did Sinatra think to bring in braiding hair into the mountain?
They had everything in there, though.
They have braiding hair?
Yes, they have everything.
You think Sinatra thought of that?
They handpicked everybody that they would bring in there specifically for certain things.
Where the braiders at?
They have the braiders in there. They're there.
Clearly, because Presley braids be on point.
Presley's braids are crazy, but they brought in everybody. They brought in, like, assassins, just in case. They brought in mental health specialists. They brought in everybody for everything. So you know they got braiders in there.
Where they at? I want an episode with the braiders.
I want
an episode in the black salon.
Episode 9.
The black hair salon. Where people getting their fades.
I do want them to show a black hair salon.
Yeah, and where they getting their braids at. I want to see that.
Yeah, it's probably there somewhere. Episode 9. But what I love about it, I think, it's the same person who did This Is Us, right?
Correct.
Because
Dan Fogelman.
I like how they do the time jumping thing back and forth.
Yeah,
they do that really well.
Yeah,
I'm a big time jumping fan.
He writes his ass off.
Yeah.
I will say that. He writes.
So
his
anyway,
ass off.
Paradise, get into it.
Get into it, y'all. It's good.
Dropped a bunch of spoiler alerts
I know,
on you, though.
spoiler alert.
Honestly, you know what? Don't even say spoiler alerts. You know what? If it aired, that's on y'all. It's not even a spoiler alert. If it aired,
that's not right. That episode just came out. Yes, I ain't even seen episode 7.
By the time they hear this, episode 8 would have already aired. So,
okay, yeah,
get into it. It's on Hulu.
That's the finale. I think it's only 8 episodes.
They got picked up for season 2 already.
Love that for them.
Go Sterling.
Go Sterling.
Sinatra, bad. She bad. Sinatra,
she's
bad.
wild.
She's
actually.
wild. She's a monster. She's wild.
She's broken.
She
is not an MVP. She is an H-dub. That is a havoc
she's
wreaker to the max.
She causes destruction. But she also built that city. We built this city on pain. Bitch, you built the city on pain. Okay? You built the city on pain. Anyway, check it out. Check it out. It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Paradise. We checked out something really dope though. LA is having Art Week.
Yeah, their little freeze. I think it's Freeze I don't know how you pronounce it, but it was February 20th through the 23rd.
Yeah.
We got out and we went to a panel with my girl Amber Abundance, Adrian Muse,
who I was not familiar with, and glad you introduced me to her work.
Yeah,
very dope
ass painter. She's been out here doing her thing for a minute. But they had a panel on queer art in revolutionary times such as this.
Yeah,
which it kind of is when you look back and think about this time. Probably this time period is going to be pretty revolutionary. But yeah, it was a dope ass panel that we went to, and then there was artwork that
it was very black, which I love. I love very, very black artwork. Kofi
Siriboe.
Yes,
the actor, the fine ass man that is
played in Queen Sugar.
Yeah. I know all y'all straights be on him, and I can see why. He is a fine specimen of a man. Even as a lesbian, I can state that.
We can see it. We see it.
Yeah,
we see it.
He and his partner Josiah David Jones.
Yeah, they did an installation called "Black in Every Color, Art in Every Form" at the Line Hotel in Koreatown, and it was really, really dope. And all week they did discussions and panels. It was really cool. So we got to check
and
that
Muse's
out.
artwork was up, and a few other people, and so glad we went.
Yeah,
it was
very dope. Very dope. He's doing something in NOLA. Something I'm not even gonna talk about it because I'm not even gonna mess this stuff up like that. But anyway, check out what he's doing. I know they're introducing.
He's in the art world now, so just check him out.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you go to his page,
which I think is cool. I tend to feel like artists, creatives, actors, musicians, they tend to cross over and become multi-hyphenates like that. So that's really dope. So anyway, check him out because I think he's doing just really cool stuff.
Speaking of artists, did you hear?
Rihanna.
Hey, speaking of.
Yo.
ASAP jumping into his wife's arms.
Okay. Rihanna announced that she is definitely coming out with the new music. We have asked, begged, pleaded.
Man.
We have sent blimps in the sky.
She's so tired of us talking about an album.
And she said, here you go.
And she said, bitches, shut the fuck up. I am going to come out with music.
Do you think it's because her man just got off though? She's like, you know what, let me give them something. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful. Let me just throw something
what
at
I
them.
think is that she got off 2 kids. She popped out 2 kids. And I think she always wanted kids. And she wanted to be around for her kids. She didn't want to be having to tour and do all of that. You see how Beyonce got to put in work. You know what I'm saying? When she has these albums come out, she's got to tour right away. And I feel like Rihanna was just like, I don't want that life.
But now she's giving us music though.
Now she's giving us music.
Now she's giving us music. Thank you,
baby. The Navy is in the building.
She said it's going to be an album that you will not be skipping on. It will be, full throttle. You hear it all the way through like we weren't going to do that anyway, though. So I don't even know why she said that.
9 years, we're going to be tuned in, fists under chin.
I'm telling you.
Elbows
all the
on
way.
the carpet.
People are calling out of work.
Legs folded
People are calling
in the
out of
air.
work. Like, I can't come in. Rihanna's album dropped. I'm so sorry.
I'm really hoping. I know she said it's not going to be for radio play.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Radio's going to play it, though.
Rihanna,
radio.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's the thing. Radio's going to play because
I'm like, are you on Andre 3000
album.
flute album shit? Like, what are you talking about that radio's not going to play it? Like, what are you talking about? You're Rihanna. Like, what?
Come on.
Are you serious?
The way they spun everything you've ever done. Do you have expectations for this album, though?
I want it to be a reggae album. I really do. I really do. I think I really want that. And that's always what I wanted her next album to be. That's my expectation and what I would like. But I have no fucking clue because now she's a mother.
I want it to be like 30 songs.
She was like, I don't want it to end.
I don't want you to ever get out the studio. I just wanted to go on and on and on and on. I want it to be like one of those things that, like when I fly home to New York, like it lasts my whole entire 5.5 hour flight.
I want nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I feel you on that.
It's still playing. Like, hey, Ma, and it's still playing in my headphones.
I feel you on that. What are your expectations of it?
I just know it's going to be good regardless. So I'm excited to see her growth. Because Rihanna's always been dope and she's always done things that have felt just new anyway. Yeah. So I'm excited to see, what does Rihanna sound like as a mom with 2 kids and a husband? Like, you was already hot and fire before. Like, what is your music going to sound like now? So I'm just excited to see what she puts down. I want to say that I don't want to place an expectation on a woman. Because I just feel like as a woman, we should not have expectations placed on us like that.
I feel you. Don't put us in a box.
But Rihanna. Yeah, don't put us in a box.
Don't put us in a box.
But Rihanna, if you could just make it 30 plus songs.
30 plus songs.
I'll be right.
And have some reggae in there, please.
Yes.
I just want to hear her. She always did so good, like in that lane, and she don't give us a lot of that. So,
but what if she did something also, like what if she did reggae? But what if she did some off the wall stuff that we also didn't expect? Because St. John just came out with an album that's like all over the place. And I'm here for it. I think it's one of his best albums. And I don't care what y'all say. I think it's one of his best albums. I have not stopped playing that album in my
I like
car.
it. I've listened to it. It's on the alt side.
It is. And I'm loving it. So what if she also, just did something where she just was touching all areas? Because I feel like our favorite artists are coming out and being like, actually,
I don't want to be in your box.
I'm touching everything.
Yeah,
I'm coming out taking everything.
What Beyonce say? She let what's her name? Linda Martell say, genre's a funny little thing, ain't it?
Ain't it?
Okay, and it's true. It's like we don't want to be placed in what you think we should be doing.
And we do it very, very well.
We can do whatever the fuck we want to do.
And we will sweep.
Well.
We will sweep when we do it. So anyway, I'm excited to see what she does. Rihanna, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate you. All the people that are about to get Rihanna's tats for this new album cover, like y'all, they about to do it. You already know it's already about to go. I can see it on Instagram now. The fan art, it's gonna be crazy. Anyway.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Room for everybody black, always, all time.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
That leads me into this situation.
Ooh.
So yeah, like we always trying to root for everybody black, right?
Yeah.
What if the person?
Hold on, let me take that back because I said it kind of like.
Yeah,
I said it kind of like
because
not 100.
It's not true. Like
but
right now,
saying,
I'm not
like
rooting.
I say it like I am 100, but it's like because I know that there's also scenarios where it's like
like if you bring up Candace Owens, I'm not rooting for her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like
right.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Right. We know that.
Right.
Just
because.
Yeah. Like we always, if you rooting for everybody black, we rooting for everybody black. But if you not,
color don't
then
necessitate me to yeah. Gotcha.
That part. So I kind of have a colleague that's a little bit like that, and she sucks. She's condescending. She's not good at what she does. Honestly, she could do well to learn from other people, and she doesn't. She's light-skinned, maybe biracial. I don't know. I know I'm light-skinned biracial, so this is coming from somebody who is that. And I understand light-skin privilege. Like, I understand colorism and how it works. And, like, we've had no one else, even darker-skinned black women, come through and not say the things that she's saying. And she's saying that she thinks people don't like her because of her race. And it's like, no, you just suck. So
you're coming with the mediocrity, baby.
You're coming with mediocrity. And you're condescending. And you talk to people crazy.
Right.
And you don't have experience, and we do. Like, we've been in the game for a long time. So it's a very tricky place to be in because I don't, it's predominantly not a black environment, and I always want to stand up for the people that are black and advocate and be that person that got everybody's back.
But you're not going to advocate for mediocrity. You're not going to do that. So
never. So it's a weird place that I find myself in, and I've kind of this week kind of just been like, damn. And it's like, I can't even side with you because it's not race.
And you don't have to.
It's not
You are
race.
not. No. And
now.
The rest of us do not expect you to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you don't have to. And I think it's one of those things where it's a reality check for her too, because we are not going to all go to bat for you just because. That shouldn't even be expected.
No. And the fact that you're making it about that, and it's like, baby, there's darker skinned people that have come through here. They ain't had no problems that you having.
So she doesn't have self-awareness. So there's
already self-awareness.
She's already probably gonna have a problem.
Yep.
With not having with you guys not having her back. She's already gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah. So I'm being asked to like show up and say my piece, and it's like, damn, I don't even want to be involved in this.
I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm not gonna be able to do it.
No, I don't think I can.
No,
I can't.
But you know what? It would. I mean, maybe you should have that conversation with her though. But then it's like, is it your job?
Is that my job? That is not my job.
Because we talked about boundaries, and I'm like, I pick my battles, and it's not. I know.
What'd you say? You said I know what's mine to
own
and mine to keep, and that ain't mine. That ain't mine. You on your own with that one, baby girl.
So yeah, it gets tricky because as a black woman to another black woman, you want to kind of be like, let me pull your coat for a second. Let me holler at you for a second. Let me put you onto something.
Yeah.
Maybe it isn't this. Maybe it is that. You want to.
Right.
You want to do that.
Right.
But I think you have to gauge the situation, because if it is somebody that's like not trying to hear it or doesn't appear to be like they would be somebody that's trying to hear it, then it's like,
I don't know what to do, baby.
I don't know what to do with that.
I got to leave you out there.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So
that's that.
That sucks.
I know. It sucks.
Yeah. I wouldn't lose too much sleep over it though.
No, I'm not. But that was kind of in my week.
That sucks.
Okay. Did you hear about this man who was pissing in his wife's...
I'm sorry. What?
Okay.
Huh?
Okay, let me bring it back. Okay. So this husband had asked his wife if he could pee on her.
If y'all can see the way my mouth is open
I know
right now.
it's open. Chelsea is like, what the fuck are you talking about right now, Shiloh? No, because I think this is interesting. Now, he asked her if he could pee on her. Okay, that's the thing. Golden showers is a thing. That's a kink. People like it. Some don't.
Heard of it.
Yo yuck ain't my yum. You know, like or my yum ain't your yuck. Whatever that saying is. Fuck.
Never heard
You
that
ain't never heard?
but
don't yuck somebody's
funny.
yum. Don't yuck somebody's yum.
Okay.
Right? Okay? Like, don't kink shame, basically. Don't kink shame, okay? But if the wife was just like, I'm not down with it. I don't want it. I'm not down with it. Asked a few times. So he really want to do this shit, right?
He's trying to persuade her.
He's trying to say, I really want to do this thing. And she's like, I don't want to do this thing. Okay. All of a sudden, her food and her drink start tasting different.
What?
She was like, shit's tasting weird. Are you trying to poison me? What's happening? What? Okay. So then she talks to her homegirl about it. Was like, but I don't feel sick. But something is not right with my food, with my drinks, with whatever he bring out the kitchen. It ain't right. So
he's serving her this food?
Her homegirl says, set up a little camera and see what the fuck's happening. She does so. This motherfucker is peeing in her coffee, in her overnight oats.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So she calls him on it. And that's already scary. I feel like niggas be tripping out on less shit than that. But he starts crying. And he was just like, I just really...
Don't cry now, though.
Don't cry now.
What are you crying about?
Don't cry now.
What exactly are you crying about, though?
Nigga, what? No consent. No, this is crazy. You need your ass beat. Low key. You need your ass beat off rip. Just off of... what? But...
She called him the way I would have been waiting at the door.
With a fucking baseball bat to whoop his ass. We don't condone violence.
We do not condone violence.
But if you want to... Okay, so so he cries, whatever, and he said that he really wanted to do this thing, and he thought that this was a way that he could do the thing without her knowing. Nigga, what? You think I wouldn't notice that there's piss in my overnight oats? Are you dumb? First of all, I would have already been like, who the fuck did I marry? Like, divorce, period, off rip. But this is illegal. You are fucking with my food, with my drinks, Okay, so
I'm blown.
Blown. Same. When I saw it, I was blown. I was like,
Where is this at?
I saw it off of, shout out B. Scott, posted it on their, B. Scott has their whole news on social media on Instagram, but I saw it on there. It was somebody's TikTok who was explaining this story of what had happened. And what it really made me think of, and there's so many ways that this could go. She need a minute. Yeah,
I just can't believe.
Right.
What did he? So
he didn't have nothing to say. He cried and was just like, "I really want to do this thing."
So he had no self-control. He
wanted
couldn't
to
stop
do this
himself.
Thing, and he didn't feel like he could, and so he.
No, you couldn't, because I said no.
I said no. I didn't give you consent. So you gonna pee in my shit? Like,
but how do we move from?
Press charges. I think you need.
There has to be.
You have to get money from this nigga. He should be paying you for the rest of your life for this. This is crazy. We are not professionals, but in fact, regular OG lesbians with life experience who are trying our best to grow and put emotional maturity, vulnerability, and consideration of others at the forefront of our actions. Listen to us at your own risk, because who gave these hoes mics?
Topic of the week. All right. So I think this obviously brings us to topic of the week, which is the discussion of kink shaming.
Yeah.
And consent.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep.
Because that's a lot.
Yeah. So I think what it really makes me think of, this guy really wanted to do this thing, and his wife said no. Is that a breakup? Were they prolonging the inevitable of, if somebody has a kink and you don't want to consent to that particular kink, and it's a hard no for you, is that cause for breakup? Before he proceeded past her consent and said, I don't give a fuck about your consent, I'm gonna piss in your shit so that I can get off over here, which is wild. But even before that, the incompatibility of I want to do something that you don't want to do sexually, is that right there? I think that's cause for breakup.
Yeah, I mean, did they have a conversation about it? Was it just a hard no? Was it their conversation? Was there any compromise? Did anything happen? I'm assuming that maybe she was just like, it's just a hard no for me.
That's what it sounds like it was. And to me, what the question that came up in my mind is that he should have been like, well, this is something that I really value in my sexual life. And either maybe we could be open or I got to go somewhere else. I think it's like, it might be an actual breakup at that point. So my question beyond this story is like, when somebody wants to do something sexually and you don't, and y'all are partnered, what do you do?
Okay, so I guess the first question is, what value do you place on sexual compatibility?
Yeah.
Some
How
people,
high is it?
Yeah, like if you value highly sexual compatibility in your relationship, then okay, there is probably not a lot of wiggle room for you not getting your sexual needs met. So there we go. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Probably not going to leave this topic alone.
Right. And he didn't.
He didn't. And then the other thing is like, okay, if we're talking about kinks, then how important is this particular kink to your overall satisfaction?
Right.
Is this the kink that dominates all your other kinks? Because could we trade this kink out for like something else?
Can we do something else?
You got something else? You got something else that you're interested in that we can talk about?
Right.
Because maybe I'm up for, can we trade? I think like, let's talk about that. But if he's like, this is it. And if it's a no, then yeah, this is not going to work.
And I don't think people do that. I think that there is a lot of kink shaming involved in relationships that people don't even feel comfortable, maybe not even kink shaming, but like, I feel like people really don't discuss and eat, I would say more so in heterosexual relationships, maybe than queer, but that's not my forte, so I'm not even going to. But I just, from what I hear from my straight friends, like sexual conversations don't really take place. Like, what do you like? What do I like? What brings you pleasure? What brings me pleasure? Like, I don't even know if people often have these kinds of conversations.
I think they do.
You think they do?
I think they do have those conversations about what they like and what they don't like. I think that's how you have to figure out, is this going to be my person?
Do you think that that's because you're queer? Because I think people are a little bit more open in queer relationships, but I also think people aren't fully transparent in what they like. And people get very sensitive in moments of where it's like, if you're in that moment and you're like, I don't really like that, but could you do it more like this?
Oh, I'm not going to say nothing.
Or I'm not going to say nothing because I don't want you to feel some type of way. And then it becomes this awkward energy. And I think learning somebody at first is a little awkward.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that's in any relationship though.
Yeah, but I don't think everybody does it. I don't even think these conversations happen.
Yeah.
I know people that said they've had orgasms like 5 times in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Definitely.
So the conversations aren't always happening on and especially I feel like Black women don't always voice what actually brings them pleasure, especially with a nigga.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even with women, usually bisexual women that they don't all the way comfortable saying what they like or don't like.
Yeah, and I think also too, they need to know, right? So let's start with there. They actually need to know.
Yeah.
But I think specifically when dealing with like kinks, so what someone would consider a kink or what someone would consider, I think I like this thing that maybe somebody else would consider like probably like not normal or abnormal or kinky.
Or taboo.
Or out there. I think those conversations, probably don't come up as readily in the beginning, because it's like, what you gonna say? Like,
hey, you know,
But
I
we
know
should
we're
be able
really
to do
feeling each
that.
other, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I know we're really feeling each other. Before we take those next steps, I just wanted to let you know, like, I'm really into this thing. Like, I don't think people do that.
You know what's funny is that I one of my friends was telling me about a date that they went on, and this motherfucker was super upfront about, like, I like to do this
Because
they
you
wanted
know
it
why?
out the way, because they wanted to be like, you either like this or you don't, and I need to move on. Let's save each other time.
That's what I'm saying. If you value sexual compatibility, and if your kink is that important, you want to get out the way going into it. Let me let you know. Because if you're not with it, we don't even need to waste each other's time. Because that's how important it is to me.
Yeah.
I like feet. I like feet. I like to do things with feet.
Yeah.
I like a lot of feet. I like, you know, you need to get that out the way, because there's no point in wasting your time with somebody that's going to think that they don't want to get down like that.
So you brought up sexual incompatibility. Now, there is this, I don't know, there's a show called Sex, Love, and Goop that was on Netflix. And I remember watching it, and it's like a series. And it's a bunch of different couples, hetero, homo, like women, men. And it's with this somatic sex therapist. Her name is Jaya, I think. And she came up with the erotic blueprint. So it's kind of like love languages. You know the love languages, right?
Yeah.
So
acts of service. Yeah. By the way, my
What's
love
yours?
language is acts of service.
I could already, what do you think mine is? I already knew that about you. I feel like a lot of films, I feel like across the board, love languages are acts of service. Like,
really?
Yes, dead ass.
Why? You know what? I appreciate when my partner
Makes your life easier.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
But it could be like the smallest of things, though.
Like sending you lunch or doing the dishes.
Get my car washed.
Getting your car washed, right? While you're busy doing something.
Yeah.
Just taking your car.
Picking up dry
I get
cleaning.
it. I'm that nigga. So
Like, it's so easy.
I love
But I
to
have
make my
time.
girl's life easier. Like
Yeah.
Mine is quality time for sure.
Oh my gosh, yours is quality
It's
time.
such it's like, put your phone away.
Yours is quality
let's
time.
Go chill.
I could see that. I could see that.
And it could be anything. It could be like, let's go to an art show, or let's sit on the couch and watch a show. But like, I want your
could see that.
time.
Yeah,
I want your
yeah.
time. I recently touch has kind of dialed up. It didn't used to be, but yeah. So anyway, the point is, love languages.
Back to
These are your erotic languages. Is she came up with this blueprint quiz. Everybody go take it and talk about it too. Whoever you're fucking, y'all should take this quiz, because I'm telling you, shit gets much better after you know somebody's.
I did not know about this. And right before we sat down, you had me take this quiz.
Absolutely, because I was like, you got to know what you are.
Oh my God. So tell them a little bit about this.
So there are 5, just like love languages. But the point is that Jaya says that people aren't sexually incompatible. There's no such thing. It's a myth. It's just that people don't speak to each other in their erotic
language.
love languages.
this is the same holds true for the
right.
the regular love languages.
Right. So when you start to speak to your partner in the love languages, like, I love quality time, so I'm going to sit and I'm going to give you quality time. Or you love acts of service, I'm going to go and get your car washed. You know, like, once you realize that, it starts to feel good. It feels better. So this is the same thing for sex. And there's 5 different ones. There is the shapeshifter, who's kind of all of them. It's sensual, which they like the senses. They like the ambiance. There is energetic. So they're the people who kind of anticipate before things happen. They like the energy of it all. So like they like to, maybe voyeurs that like to be teased or like to sit in a room and not touch. And that's the energetic. And then there's the sexual, who's very much into like, let's fuck, penetration, genitals, like the normal shit of what society thinks sex is. And then there is the kinky type. And so these are the people that typically like the things that are a little bit more taboo, or they're more secretive, or it's more psychological, or power dynamics, dom, sub, like that kind of stuff. That gets a little more kinky. So I know that I'm a shapeshifter, so I can do a little bit of everything.
I feel like that's a good one to have because you can kind of go with the flow, or at least you can shift to your partner.
Yep.
Which is actually really cool.
Yeah, but there's also a shadow side that it talks about. Like there's shadows to it, so it's all the good things about it, but then it tells you about the shadow side. So it says sometimes shapeshifters don't feel fed, or they get bored easily because they're so used to kind of they want something this day and they want something else the next day.
Oh.
Right. So there's like shadow sides to this. Right.
Interesting.
Uh-huh. And so what did you get?
Well, I got kinky.
Okay. All right.
I'm actually not surprised.
Okay.
When I saw it, I was like, that makes sense. But I also didn't know the other ones. And now hearing you say all the other ones, I'm like, that actually even makes more sense to me that I got that one.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to read if there's anything else to read up on it.
It'll give you the whole breakdown of your style and your shadow.
Yeah.
And I say all this to say that I think there needs to be more open conversations about what people like and don't like.
Yeah.
And like you said, the value that people place on their sexual relationships and health. And I wish I would have known these things earlier in my life, because I watched this shit after my 8-year relationship ended, and I was like, dang.
I wish somebody would have told us.
I wish we would have known. And especially in our culture, I think it's very taboo to talk about these things sometimes. I think now it's different, 2025, and especially being queer, and there's a lot more freedom in what we talk about. But growing up back in the day, ain't nobody talking about like, oh, what's your we weren't even talking about love languages back then. That wasn't even a thing. Like, so it's interesting to see how we've evolved, and the communication espespecially around, I feel like Black film, Black queer people's pleasure, or Black people in general pleasure. I think it's important. Yeah,
100%. I'm so much more comfortable talking about sex and what I like, and what I don't like, and what I need and what I don't need now than I was in my early phases of my sexuality. But even still, when I have like a crush at this big age, I still get a little like,
same.
Which it feels good, but like learning someone and the newness of it is like exciting, you know? So sometimes I don't want all of that up front. Sometimes I'm like,
I think in doses, right?
Yeah.
In doses, but I think it's good to go in knowing honestly, I like to introduce it to whoever I'm gonna be intimate with, like, yo, go take your quiz. So I can get a little handle on what they like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they can have a little handle on what I like. And if it goes that route, then we got a little window. Now we don't have to get into all the nitty-gritty of it, but it's like to know a little bit of that off rip, especially if it's going down that road. I think for me, in my relationships that I've had thus far, after knowing that piece of information, it just has made sex better.
100%.
Honestly. Yeah.
Do you think it could work if you two had two different or very different?
It says it talks about that. It's whole thing. Jaya's whole thing is that sexual incompatibility is a myth. It's not true. You just got to figure out how to talk in each other's languages. So to her, it's like, and if you watch the show, you'll see it. And it was actually very beautiful to see, especially in this Black hetero couple. It was this man who learned that he was actually, I think, very energetic. And he had never, and she was actually more into like the sexual aspect of it. And they just hadn't been able to communicate. And it was so beautiful to see them after they left that whole retreat thing from the show. And they were just they were having great sex. And it was like, yo, we have never, because they were able to be open and honest about what they liked. Because she was complaining that like he would just go straight to it. And she was like, this ain't what and he didn't even know that he didn't even want that. But that's just what society has kind of, pushed people towards. And kind of socialized us to just like get to it. And
right.
And, but it's like if you take your time and really get into what your partner, what brings them pleasure.
Sometimes you need somebody to teach you.
Absolutely.
Because also, if he just had women all along being okay with him, probably actually they weren't okay with him.
They weren't okay. That's my
They
point.
just ended up leaving him, but no one stuck
Nobody
around and taught
says
him.
anything.
So yeah,
Nobody says anything. Nobody, especially I feel like women don't voice it that this ain't doing.
This
I'm
ain't
glad
it.
it's
This
nice
ain't
to hear
it.
you getting it, but it's
Right.
like this ain't it for me.
Right.
Like, so it was just I recommend that show to a lot of people, and I feel like it should be just put it on the table.
Yeah,
Like,
just talk about it.
just talk about it.
Yeah, but the urinating in my coffee.
Hell
though,
nah. Because you know what? That's illegal, and I ain't give you the fucking consent. And I said no, nigga. I actually said no. So we ain't never condoning that shit. And if that's your kink, go find somebody who fucking likes that. That is my point in all of this. Now that is actual. That's where I don't agree with Jaya. That is sexual incompatibility. I don't want to be peed on, and I don't want that.
And I don't want it in my coffee.
That is a boundary.
I don't want it in my coffee.
Bitch, you put it in my food.
And I didn't want it on me.
So you think?
And I damn sure don't want it in me. The hell? I'm out.
I'm out, nigga. And actually, you go get your ass. I'm about to press the button on you. You about to get your ass beat in these streets.
We don't condone violence.
We don't condone violence.
That wraps up the topic of the week.
All right, you guys. We have a question. We have a question from y'all. So
Time for questions.
we have most embarrassing phase you've been through. What's yours?
Most embarrassing style phase?
Huh?
Most embarrassing what phase?
Most embarrassing phase, I guess. That's all they gave. Most embarrassing phase you've been through.
Well, I'll say, first of all, none of my stages were embarrassing.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't lie to yourself.
I'm not.
Chelsea, I've seen pictures. What are you talking about?
First, don't even. Okay. Now, there are some pictures out there in my hot girl prime.
Okay, so what are these pictures? What's the most embarrassing
Now,
phase,
I
nigga, is the
recall a
question.
couple of years. I would say about 3 years. Okay. And I was old enough to not have been doing this. So I wouldn't say it was embarrassing, but I knew better.
Okay.
Okay. Had moved out to California and I was newly from New York. And I think that I needed everybody to know that. Okay.
You need everybody to know you was from New York?
So I had a graffiti phase. Okay. And everything I wore was graffiti. I had graffiti pumps, girl. Anytime I saw somebody was selling something that was graffiti that I could wear, I was purchasing it. And I had graffiti pumps. You couldn't tell me nothing. Okay? Graffiti pumps. I had I remember I had a blue belt that would snap. I would match it with my blue eyeshadow.
You was like Pops in Boomerang. Bam! Mushroom belt.
Bam!
Mushrooms on the inside.
Bam!
Except your shit was graffiti.
I would wear like big silver chains. They were kind of like large bike chains. And I was just like from the quote unquote, I was from the concrete jungle. Okay. From the concrete jungle.
Yo, that's
I was street.
wild.
And I was really in these streets.
I want a picture.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Listen, I was really in these streets and I was like killing it. I thought I was killing these sidewalks.
Ooh.
And looking back on it now, I wasn't
Embarrassed.
killing any sidewalks. I wasn't killing not one sidewalk. But I was at the catch. You could find me at the catch.
I knew you when you was dressing like that and all graffiti. I don't remember
I think this
this.
was maybe right before you met me.
Okay, all right.
I was at the catch.
Well, you met me in one of my most embarrassing phases, and I think it was transitioning.
I remember.
Excuse me? Wait a minute. Excuse me? Wait a minute.
It wasn't, that's what I'm saying. These phases weren't embarrassing, but we don't have to pull the pictures out. It's not like nobody's framing the photo and putting it up on the wall.
Is that I think if somebody looked back, they'd be like, oh, she was cute. But it was like, I know that I wasn't comfortable in my skin. Like,
you wore a lot of colors. There was a moment where you also wore a lot of colors. You wore a lot of colors.
What? Nigga,
at one time.
A lot of colors. Find the pictures. I don't know what you're talking about. But
I have the pictures. I can pull it up in my phone right now.
Oh, okay. I need to see a lot of colors. Okay. But I would say I was transitioning from being more femme to being more mask presenting. And I think that was always what I felt more comfortable in. I remember even in middle school, I was the kid in kindergarten who was shopping in the boys section. Like my grandma would let me. I would go buy all my Ninja Turtle shit. Like I was always that girl. But I think society, you know, is like, oh, you're so pretty. You should wear dresses and you should. And for a while, I did that. And then it wasn't until I got out here and away from people that I knew that I was just like, oh, I can start.
You got comfortable.
But that transition is something, you kind of wearing
Transition
film, you
was
kind of
wild.
wearing masks, it was a whole thing. So I think I look back on that and I cringe a little bit just because I knew how I felt inside.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, thank you for that question.
That was a good question.
That was a good question.
If you like this episode, subscribe, tell a friend, share the episode, hit us up, let us know what you're thinking, send a question. Just you know, let us know what's going on with you. Interact with us.
You can reach us at MVP, that's EMVP podcast at gmail.com if you want to write a letter or let us know how you're feeling, you want some advice, whatever. And you can also reach us, that's also our IG, at EMVP podcast and YouTube at EMVP podcast.
Yeah, shout out. Say hello.
All right, y'all, we leaving y'all with this week's edition of Fuck, Marry, Friend Zone because shout out to Mel. She was like, it sounds like y'all having a hard time killing whoever that third person is.
Mel is so right. What up, Mel?
Yeah, what up, Mel? We were having a hard time. So she said, let's change it to Fuck, Marry, Friend Zone. So that's what we're doing.
That's a good one.
That's Fuck, Marry, Friend Zone is what we're going to do.
And shout out to Crystal who actually gave us this idea for our Fuck, Marry, Friend Zone, which is Places We've Lived edition.
Yup.
So, Florida, New York, California. Fuck, marry, friend zone. Which one?
All right. I'm fucking Florida because Florida always a bad bitch. There's always a bad bitch coming out of Florida, baby. Let me tell you something. 305, 407, Tampa, Florida, Duval. It's going to be a bad bitch coming out of Florida, okay? So I'm fucking Florida. I'm marrying Cali because I love LA. I don't see myself living anywhere else besides LA unless it's out of the country, honestly. And then I'm a friend zone New York. Me and New York got a love-hate relationship. So I'm going to have to, it's a struggle for me. I know that's where you from, my nigga, but I lived there for a year and I said, get me the fuck out of here. I don't do winter. I see why everybody's mad. It's dirty.
First of all, let me tell you something.
But I had a good ass fucking summer in New York.
Okay.
That was one of the funniest summers I had.
Say
and
something
that's
nice. Say something nice. Say
talk
something
to me nice. Talk to me nice. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna be your friend. I'm gonna be your friend, New York.
New York has a way of getting rid of, the ones that don't need to be there. Okay, for me, all right, I am immediately friend zoning Florida because when I lived in Florida, I lived in Fort Myers.
Oh.
And the hottest thing popping in Fort Myers was the Applebee's.
Oh.
Automatic friend zone. And actually,
you ain't never been to Miami? I
have been to all those places, but I'm saying when I lived in Florida, had to live in Florida, I had to live in Fort Myers for work. And so I'm going to go ahead. I don't even need to friend zone it. It's all the way killed for me.
Bitch, fuck you, nigga.
So,
then fuck you,
there's
nigga.
that.
Okay.
Now.
You tried it.
Okay. New York, you already know. Married to you for life.
You marrying New York?
Absolutely. I'll always marry New York.
Ew.
New York, you always have my heart. Okay? You are romantic. There's a fabric that just keeps us weaved together.
Romantic.
For the rest of our lives.
Nigga, the rats crossing y'all fucking feet.
First of all. Okay? California, you white. I love you. And we're here to stay. We're going to do some things together. So that's what I'm going to fuck, marry, kill. That was a good one. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Shout out to my bestie.
All right, y'all.
We had a good time with y'all.
Keep your heart soft, your vibes high, and stay in bloom.